What are your specials?
What are you after?
Oh.
We got burgers, cheeseburgers, fries, fried onions, pickled eggs, pasties, pies, and odds.
Odds?
Yeah, we got first to score, half-time score, final score, score draw, 5-4, and a cracking app.
Sorted. Got any tips?
Yeah, go easy on the air, Jill.
Download the Coral app and check out our in-play specials.
But please bet responsibly.
Welcome to the latest edition of Break Off. We're out here on the arena floor where all the magic happens, and today the drive for the third round began in earnest. And with me to dissect the action, as he always is the Chief Press Officer, don't mess with Ivan Hershevitz. Well, Ivan, good evening first of all. Now, the first player to be introduced to the crowd out here on the main stage was Jimmy White, and he started brilliantly against Ding, but then crucially just didn't take his chances, which is why Ding was the winner 6-2.
Yeah, it was great for Jimmy to get a big moment in a BBC televised event, and he won the first frame. I think the second frame was crucial. It came down to the pink and black. Ding potted them both, and from 1-1, Jimmy perhaps lost a bit of confidence and Ding grew. It's a great result for Ding, particularly with Mark Selby going out, because Ding is now the front runner to be the new world number one. He'd be the first ever Asian number one, and that'd be a huge story in China.
Well, we will get to the Mark Selby story in a moment. Just before that, another world champion who did actually make it through to the third round, John Higgins, coming through a really tricky match against Jamie Cope. Hasn't perhaps been firing on all cylinders, but maybe that's the win that turns things round for the Wizard of Wishaw.
Yeah, that's another big confidence booster for John. I think what will particularly please him would be the fact that he was 5-4 up. It was looking like going 5-all. Then he made a great clearance in the 10th frame, and that was always his trademark in his heyday. Those fantastic clearances with 5 or 6 reds on the table, 1-6-4, and he faces Matthew Stevens next. So that's going to be a really exciting match.
Well, he'll be delighted to still be in the championship, and I grabbed a word or two with the Scottish legend after the match. Do you think that win may have helped you turn a little bit of a corner?
I hope so. We'll see. Obviously, now Matthew's the same. We're going to be going in, and he's finding he wants to win a couple of big games, and that can kickstart him getting up the rankings again. So, as I said, it's a big win because obviously I'm in the borderline to get through in the Masters, and it was a big win to try and get there and hopefully be here later on in the week to cement my place in the Masters, because that's another big event you want to be playing in. So that's a big aim as well.
So great stuff from John Higgins as he looks to recapture the kind of form that took him to those 4 world titles and 3 UK crowns. Now, Ivan mentioned it just towards the beginning, Mark Selby, David Morris. Who would have put the odds on Morris producing the biggest win of his career and knocking out Mark Selby, not only the reigning world champion, but the guy who won this in fine style 2 years ago and came very, very close to defending the title with that magnificent 147 last year. A huge shock.
Yeah, it is a big shock, although, let's not forget that Mark became a dad for the first time 2 weeks ago. His preparation for the tournament has not been anything like it would normally be. He's probably prepares better than almost anyone for the big tournaments. He probably hasn't had that much sleep, probably not practiced as much as he wanted to, and I think you could tell that afterwards, that although he was very disappointed, he knew that, it was going to be difficult for him to have a long run in this tournament. But let's not take anything away from Davy Morris, because great performance. When it mattered in the end, he made a big break in the last frame to win it. I remember quite a few years ago now, Davy, when he came through, he won almost everything at junior level in Ireland, and people were talking about him as sort of maybe the next Ken Doherty, the next really good player to come out of Ireland. It's not really happened for him, and he dropped off the tour and had to come back through Q School, but he's had some good results since he's come back, and this, like you say, is the best result of his career so far.
Absolutely huge. One thing we've got to do is come up with a nickname. I asked him, and he was out of ideas, so if you have got a nickname, if you're part of the Kilkenny crew, then please drop us a tweet, because when we introduce him for the third round match, it'd be quite nice to have a nickname. Anyway, he has been the man of the moment today, and I spoke to him after the match. Well, having knocked out the reigning world champion, you'll be favourite for your match against Dave Gilbert.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much an equal game. Dave obviously played well today as well to win against Mark Joyce, so we always have brilliant matches, and I think we're both going to look forward to it. It's usually a pretty high scoring game. Bit of excitement back in Kilkenny? I hope so now, I hope so, yeah. I know there was a lot of people watching me. I put up on Facebook the other day that there was people going when the match was on, and I got lots of comments and likes and things. So hopefully now it makes the game a little bit more popular in Kilkenny, and there's more people to start playing again.
Well, an unbelievable story, and that looks set to run and run. David Morris into the third round up against Dave Gilbert. Now, we like to have a little bit of fun here on Breakoff, and we put 3 pretty good talkers to the test here because they had to put something in their mouths and finish it as quickly as possible. I think you'll recognise all 3 of them, but which one took the victory?
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let yourself be light.
Well, here we have a dazzling array of snooker talent from 3 areas. We've got Brendan Moore, the first Sheffield ref to oversee the final at the Crucible. We've got the hitman Michael Holt, who's into the second round. He'll be facing Dechawet Poomjang. And we've got the big boss here. We've got the chairman of the WPBSA, Jason Ferguson. But which one is going to be the king of mince pie eating? It's one at a time. Brendan Moore will go first. Now, his defence here is going to be that he doesn't like mince, but if you eat it quick enough, you won't taste it. That's 10 seconds. It's got to be completely swallowed. He can't swallow it. He's got no liquid. He's up to 26. He's drifting out to a minute. I think you two have learned the lesson here. You've got to go for small chunks. 58.70. Okay, so now there's some lessons to be learnt there. Small nibbly bits might go better. 3, 2, 1, you're back in the room. Big bites. Now he's realising how difficult it is. Well, he's got it in. How long is it going to take him? Oh, 26.83. You've got a good chance of the silver, because I don't think you're going to be as slow as Bren. But are you going to get the gold? Jason Ferguson, 3, 2, 1, you're back in the room. He's going for the small chunks. He's watching the clock, so he realises that Holty's time is about to come and go. He's on 20 seconds already, so 26 has gone, surely. The best he can do now is the silver medal. He's going for the eagle on the par 5.
He's got the meat sweats. This is our chairman.
16 seconds. 10 seconds to go.
Are you all right?
I think he's almost done this.
Have they put some chilli in it? You've gone all red.
Oh, he's in second place. He's beaten Brendan. So it's Holty with the gold, Ferguson with the silver, and Brendan Moore picking up the brave bronze. Cracking. So loads of drama with today's matches and plenty coming up tomorrow. So I managed to grab a word or two right here in the arena with somebody who knows a thing or two about the odds for the big names. So Nicola, there'll be all sorts of odds and all sorts of connotations for this amazing championship. Some brilliant matches to come. But overall, what's the outright looking like at the moment?
Well, as you'd expect at this stage of the tournament, there's been no major shocks as of yet. The Rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan, is still at the top of the betting at 11-4, although his odds have drifted slightly given the injury and his fitness issues at the moment, but he still rules the roost in the betting. 11-4 favourite, followed by Neil Robertson, who's in there at about a 13-2 shot to defend his title.
What have you got for us on Robbo this year?
Well, at this stage, you're not going to get a huge amount of value. He is the clear odds-on favourite at 1-8, heavy odds-on favourite, as you would expect, up against Kieran Wilson, who's available at 5-1. He looked really impressive in his opening round, winning 6-0, 13-2, second favourite, as I already said, to win. So I think he'll be part of many accumulators and doubles, I would imagine, today, rather than people sticking their money on at 1-8, unless you had thousands of pounds to do it.
Well, loads to talk about, of course. Now, we know that there may or may not be a match between Peter Lyons and Ronnie O'Sullivan. That remains to be seen. We very much hope that Ronnie's ankle holds up and he decides to contest his second round match tomorrow. Someone else we ought to talk about, also knows how to win here. What a brilliant victory, almost emotional from Neil Robertson last year. What do you assess of his chances here this year at the championship? Bearing in mind the man he beat to the title last year has already been knocked out, so we can't take anything for granted.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure Neil will be, he wouldn't admit it, but he'll be quietly quite pleased that Mark Selby's out. Yeah, of course, he's trying to defend this title. He got off to a great start of the season, won in Wuxi, maybe then had a bit of a quiet spell. Now he's building form again. And again, he's in the race for that world #1. It's between Ding and Neil Robertson now, so that will be an extra motivation for him.
Well, it's certain to be a huge match and a great reception for Neil Robertson when he comes out in front of a really knowledgeable and passionate crowd, as we've come to really enjoy here in Yorkshire. Well, we're all set for a scintillating Sunday, so we'll see you soon for the next edition of Breakoff.
your specials?
What are you after?
We got burgers, cheeseburgers, fries, fried onions, pickled eggs, pasties, pies, and odds.
Odds?
Yeah, we got first to score, half-time score, final score, score draw, 5-4, and a cracking app.
Sorted. Got any tips?
Yeah, go easy on the air, Jill.
Download the Coral app and check out our in-play specials.
But please bet responsibly.